I still remember the day Dockas arrived in our village. She was a city girl through and through, her voice sharp like the sound of car horns, her eyes filled with curiosity but shadowed by disbelief. She was my cousin, the daughter of my uncle who had left the village many years ago to build a life in the city. When she came with her cousin Morin, we all knew she would not understand our ways, but we never expected what was to come. At first, Dockas marveled at everything. The fresh air, the open fields, the way children ran barefoot with unbridled joy. She would ask questions about everything, but she never really listened to the answers. When she saw our old tree stump by the narrow path leading to the river, she frowned. "Why don't you just cut this thing off? Someone could trip and hurt themselves." Her words made me uneasy. That was not just any tree stump. It was the great oracle of our village, a place of reverence, where our ancestors' spirits were believed to rest. Even the elders approached it with bowed heads, offering libations in hushed voices. "That is no ordinary tree," I told her. "Some say it was once an old woman who turned into this stump. Others say the spirits of our forefathers live within it. Either way, no one dares to disturb it." But Dockas laughed. A laughter that was loud and dismissive, the kind that echoed like a slap in the face of our traditions. "You people believe in such things? It's just a piece of wood." I urged her to leave it alone, but she was stubborn, fueled by a sense of knowing better. That evening, when no one was looking, she did something unthinkable. Instead of finding a hidden place to relieve herself, she squatted over the sacred stump. Perhaps she thought it was a joke. Perhaps she wanted to prove that nothing would happen. But something did happen. The next morning, Dockas woke up drenched in her own urine. At first, she dismissed it as a one-time accident. But as the days went on, it became worse. She would stand, and urine would trickle down her legs. She had no control over it. The healer gave her herbs, but they did nothing. The doctor in the next town examined her and found nothing wrong. I watched her as her laughter turned to shame. She stopped speaking so much, she barely left the house. The bright city girl who had once strutted through our village now hid in the shadows, her body betraying her at every turn. Her parents were called, and when they arrived, they wept at the sight of their daughter. "This is not a sickness of the body," an elder said. "This is a sickness of the spirit. Take her to the oracle." Her father, a man of the city, was reluctant, but desperation softened his heart. He took her to the shrine where the chief priest awaited. The old man studied Dockas, then closed his eyes and murmured chants, his fingers tracing symbols in the air. "She has defiled the oracle," he finally said. "The spirits are angry." Dockas trembled. Her mother gasped. Her father's face darkened with realization. "Is there no way to fix this?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. The priest nodded. "She must atone. She must serve the oracle every day. Wash it, clothe it in white linen, and offer it 3 meals a day until it forgives her." There was no other choice. For 6 months, Dockas remained in the village, rising before dawn to cleanse the stump with fresh water from the river. She dressed it with white linen, set meals before it, and bowed her head in respect. At first, I could see the anger in her eyes, the shame of having to perform such a task. But slowly, something changed. She no longer did it with resentment. Her hands moved with care, her voice softened, and the laughter that had once been filled with mockery now carried reverence. Then, one morning, she woke up dry. The urine had stopped. She ran to the stump, knelt before it, and wept. When the chief priest arrived, he smiled. "The oracle has forgiven you. You are free." She returned to the city, but she was not the same. She no longer laughed at traditions. She no longer dismissed things she did not understand. She had learned something the hard way, something that would remain with her forever. From that day on, Dockas never forgot the village, and the village never forgot her. And neither did I, for I had witnessed the power of the oracle with my own eyes.